Hey, this is Seth Jared with InDemandCareer.com. I show people how to get jobs in digital marketing and change their lives with no previous education or experience. And I also wrote a book called Skip College for Success because I am all about people having freedom and full self-expression and being able to do awesome things they didn't think they were capable of. And so in this video, this is very, very appropriate. I want to talk about this thing called imposter syndrome. Now, this is a cute name given to an experience that people have had forever, which is feeling like a fraud or that you're not good enough whenever you almost when you try to do almost anything that is outside of your comfort zone. You know, you could feel this whether you're trying to go to the gym or whether you're trying to launch a new business, write a book, get a new digital marketing client. A lot of people deal with this. And I want to shine some light on this, guys, because it is a little bit of an epidemic, especially I think in the younger generation, because you guys grew up with so much media. You guys grew up with Instagram and Facebook and the internet, and you're just always comparing yourself to all these other people. And when I meet my students, you know, I'm like kind of a little mini celebrity, I guess, on the internet, very, very little mini celebrity. And I can see how people relate to me. And I want to make it very clear that everybody's the same. Okay, everybody is in the same boat. Even the celebrity people, I've met very wealthy people who are still just as neurotic or unhappy as people who don't have money. People have this misconception that somehow inside of this imposter syndrome experience, and I've been there myself, you feel like somehow you're not good enough, you don't have the right to do the thing you want to do. And it's complete bullshit. It's a bullshit voice in your head. And I want you to just hear that and be with that for a second. Oh, I think a hawk just flew over. That's pretty cool. The problem people have is that we give power to that voice. So a few ways you can actually deal with imposter syndrome. Number one, a lot of people just simply ignore, you just push through it and get that little voice and that experience is it's not you. It's not who you actually are. One of the things I used to do is I love to watch biographies of successful people to understand how the process. And one of the things you always see is every successful person started out unsuccessful. Everyone. There's like nobody other than maybe Donald Trump, who was like handed a ton of money, right? But he still had to go out and like, you know, buy buildings and shit. But, the Beatles were nervous every time they performed, and to the point of nausea, to the point where I think it was Paul McCartney said he thought about quitting because he was so nervous. You know, you can research Adele is the same way with when she performs. Everybody starts out failing. So one of the big problems with the celebrity, the internet, social media cultures, you see pictures of people smiling and, posing for selfies in front of, like me in this beautiful place and things like that. And you think, oh, these people are so amazing. They're so great. Oh, I could never be that way. And it's not true. It's a lie. It's a lie. When I started out, guys, I was just a guy. I was, I've told this story before. I had slept in my car in Hawaii. I was unemployed, actually, when I found internet marketing. There was absolutely no reason anybody should listen to me, you'd think. But, and when I started talking about film, I knew I had a passionate point of view about something that trumped and superseded my fear. I wanted to share something with other people. And that is actually where you can actually access a lot of power. When you want to share, you take the attention off yourself so much. And oh, I'm afraid, nervous. And you just think about, well, what do I want to give to this other person? And the other thing to the imposter syndrome voice is, don't even worry if you can deliver that thing. Because, when I started out, I did a course on filmmaking and why film school is a joke and why you should skip it and what to do instead. And I wasn't a successful filmmaker at the time. I hadn't even made a feature. I worked on sets but I knew, I was like, I know what I would have done differently. And I want to help. And, as a part of me that's like, well, actually, it was somebody close to me actually said, what right do you have to tell people about filmmaking? You've never made a full movie, which was a lot of people run into that too with their families. They expect encouragement, but they get shut down. Now, in my case, I got really angry and the anger propelled me to taking action. So sometimes anger is actually a really good tool. That's what drove me for a while. And you could actually hear it in some of my older videos. I'm not as angry right now. But that's one thing. But the first thing is like, you can go about it that way, which is where you just say, stop trying to figure out the imposter syndrome, stop figuring out how do I get over it, and just taking action makes the difference. And also, another thing I found really works is really go through the worst case scenario in your mind and just be okay with it. When I was really young, don't know if I should share this on the internet. Let's just say when I want to do something that scares me, I think about what the worst thing could happen, and I allow myself to actually imagine it happening, not like visualizing like I want it to happen, but just be like, would I be okay? Let's say you want to get a new digital marketing client, and you go and you pitch them, right? And you're really afraid they're not gonna accept you, or they're not gonna, sign up to work with you. When you actually like accept that that could happen, then you're like, oh, okay, I'm not dead. It's just somebody didn't want to work with me. And if you get the account and you're working on it, and what's your biggest fear? Oh, I'm going to spend everybody's money and lose all their money. And then you just get, that's not very likely, but there's marketing agencies out there where that happens. People blow a lot of money with marketing agencies. A big thing is bringing logic into the situation. The imposter syndrome lives in a world of fantasy. It's unreality. It's based in a lot of crazy ideas and negative ideas people have about themselves. It's even like when I was younger, like I didn't want to ask a girl out because I'm afraid she's gonna like be all these terrible things you're imagining. And then if you actually, I'd actually go to ask a girl out, and she'd either say yes or she'd say no. And that's all that happened. None of this like terrible, whatever you've created in your mind as some terrible outcome. It doesn't happen. It's all in your mind. Um, Sometimes knowing that isn't that helpful, but that's why I also say it's really good to get in communication with your friends. If you have a good supportive friend, talk to them. They'll give you the truth about yourself. They'll be like, yo, man, you're being down on yourself. You you can do this. But you also, you don't have to push yourself to the point where you feel like you have to be this instant success. Again, that's a thing I think is so bullshit about the social media culture, is that you think that people were just instantaneously successes. Everybody failed, and everybody continues to fail. Even successful people continue to fail. The only difference is you need to have a healthy relationship with that failure. I'll probably do another video about that. The other thing I've done with imposter syndrome is there's a really good documentary about the Fire Festival. I forgot, it's on Netflix. Just Google Fire Festival, Fyre. The Fire Festival was, this guy, this really charming entrepreneurial guy, was going to put together the world's biggest like music festival. And this was in 2016, and it was a complete sham. It was actually a nightmare. It was a complete fraud. He literally was an imposter. He took people's money. They didn't refund it. He actually did con people out of millions of dollars, and was like one of the most like nasty shitheads. And I always watch that and I think to myself, that's an imposter. That's an imposter. Like, he was literally an imposter. He literally lied about what was going to happen at the event. People flew in. It was like there wasn't enough places for people to sleep. There was like this. It's actually kind of fun to watch because it's like crazy. But I'm like, that's an imposter, guys. That's not you going out to try to say to a local business, hey, I think I could maybe help you with your advertising. That's not you if you're like, hey, I think this girl's really great. I want to ask her out. Or I think this guy's really great. I'd like to talk to him. That's not you if you want to do anything. You want to write a book, or you want to do stand-up comedy, or you want to start your own business. You're just putting something out there. You're not like like this guy. This was epic fraud. He is in jail. So you need to get clear about what actually being an imposter is. Because that's another thing too, is when you get clear about things, when you get clear, like when I got clear that like I have the right to put my courses out there. Some people are going to buy it. Some people aren't, but I'm going to make a difference with those people who it does. And you know what? When I'm starting something, whether it's a course or when I got my first 30 accounts in digital marketing, I had fears, I didn't know, oh my God, I'm going to waste their money. But I had to make peace with the fact that this is what everybody goes through. Nobody's born knowing how to do these things. And when you guys start out, that's just it. Everybody's starting out. You have to have that, be gentle with yourself. So I hope that's helpful in some way. The biggest thing for me is, if you try to analyze the imposter syndrome too much, you're just going to drive yourself crazy. It's really, sometimes it really is like you're standing on the diving board and you just got to jump in the pool for whatever it is. And you'll be so much happier for it. I am so happy in my life because of all the risks I took and all the failures I had. And again, if you can get really good at failing or what you think is failure, or understand really the truth is there's no such thing as failure. It's just something people make up. Failure is really just a certain kind of, like Thomas Edison took like 10,000 times before he invented the light bulb. And he could have gone at attempt number 7,000. He could have said, oh, screw this. I'm failure. But he just kept going. So it's really about how you look at it, you know? And this idea of being an imposter is just so silly. Everyone's an imposter. Everyone feels fake deep down. A lot, you know, it's more common than you think. Even I've met social media and celebrities and multimillionaires, and they are struggling with the same shit that you are at a different level. And it's so hilarious because sometimes if people will get to a higher level and they'll still, but the ones who are successful, again, they acknowledge the feeling and they take action anyway. That's what I tell people in my course, just take some action. It's not going to look the same. It doesn't matter if it's pretty. It doesn't matter if you get rejected from 7 jobs or your first 3 days on your account, you're not profitable. That is how it's supposed to go. Life goes like that. If you gave up on failure when you were younger, you never would be walking right now. You'd be on your ass like, I can't walk because I fell. So, anyway, I hope that's helpful, guys. You know, um, I swear you have more to offer than you realize, and I'm gonna do a video about that right now. So, this is Seth with InDemandCareer.com. Skip college for success. Wishing you that you are fulfilled in doing what you love to do, which is totally possible. No matter what you think right now, you can do more than you think you are capable of doing. And I will see you next time.